Welcome to another episode of Tea Talk, of course. I just want to take a minute and connect into our hearts and take a little breath break. I know that I'm sitting here alone recording this, but that there is a collective connection, collective energy, and as this reaches you, we can all collectively join hands, connect, whatever you want to call it. So I just want to take a minute to just find your heart center. It helps to put your hand over your heart. Just close your eyes for a minute and just take a few breaths. As deep or as shallow as you want, but just to focus on your breath and to connect into that heart. It's really important that we slow down at points during the day and just connect into that heart center. Get off that wheel of busyness and all the mind distraction and chatter. And just to connect into ourselves. Just keep taking some deep breaths. And just breathing out gently. And feeling into that heart. Feeling into the collective energy that we can all connect, that we all are connected. That we are more than this body. That our true essence is love. And that we are worthy as we are, as is. And so it is. I attended an amazing event today all about humanship instead of leadership, humanship. And this event was all other wellness leaders, founders of companies in the wellness space. And I was teary-eyed by the end of this event because it was just so powerful. It was all about envisioning that collective energy and a future where we can all be connected as a community and feel more connection, and that we can run companies where humans are at the forefront. And it was just really incredible exploring that concept of humanship and being with these wonderful leaders that just have humans at the forefront, that it's not about profits over people. It's about people over profits and connection. So it was very, very deep, and it was kind of incredible to, after being in the business world myself for many years, being part of working for corporations and then owning my own company and networking and just seeing how the business landscape has been run and really the lack of that kind of attitude. And so it's just really inspiring. And I feel very connected into my heart today after having that experience. So I'm excited to be a part of this transformation in our world in whatever way that works itself out to be. But I do feel like I'm a part of it, just being able to witness it even. So in today's Tea Talk, I would love to just dive into a few things on my mind and update you with some community news and share some thoughts on the CIA and Brainwave Entrainment. So we'll get to that. Stay tuned. So first of all, I just want to talk about the idea of protecting your mind. So a lot of what I spend time doing is working and creating because I like it. But then when I want to wind down, I want to wind down with things that are very mindless, and I enjoy people watching. I enjoy trying to understand people, being observant of people, understanding, human behavior. What I realized recently was that much of what I was watching was really divisive and even ridiculing others for their life choices, basically. And so there's unfortunately a lot of that in our media currently, whether that's on podcast or YouTube or elsewhere. And it's fascinating to watch, but I realized how toxic it really is. And I was starting to feel even shame in myself, because whenever one of those shows highlighted some aspect in another as something that was bad, and I could see that aspect, somehow in myself, I felt some shame. So that that does result in living from a place of shame instead of acceptance of how complex and difficult the human experience really is. Living in shame keeps us stuck and programmed, of course, and our misery keeps us distracted and makes it easier to sell to us and control us. So I needed a bit of a reminder and to observe how this was occurring in my own life. I've spoken to this community about this previously, and I just want to remind you again to be observant and selective with what you are consuming, and at all costs protect your mind. There's this great power in realizing that we are simply a ball of energy. The body we live in, the identity we attach to, none of it exists. And I remember the first moments that I grasped this concept and I started walking around in the world differently. It was like getting a whole new set of eyes. And freedom is really found in realizing that none of this is real. You are walking around in a program. You are programmed. So just remember that. Remember that. Search for that new set of eyes that can be found with the work that we're doing on this channel. Next, I want to talk about inner child work. I think sometimes people find the idea of inner child work a little too woo-woo or even corny, including myself. I've definitely thought about that myself in the past. But it's really important to embrace the concept in your journey of reprogramming or programming your mind, because much of programming that occurred in childhood, of course, and a lot of trauma occurs in childhood, and that results in the programming of how you feel about yourself or how you respond to situations. And then as adults, we often become disappointed in ourselves or feel the shame over the behaviors and patterns that we can't seem to break. But every time we feel that shame, we are only reinforcing the behavior. Versus if we recognize the association with our inner child and we actually give that inner child the love and compassion and support that the child needed in those moments when that pattern likely emerged, we can actually find healing that then allows us to break the pattern. So this is an important part of reprogramming your mind, is being able to break those patterns by recognizing where those patterns come from and then actually showing compassion and love to that smaller version of yourself, that earlier version of yourself that had to embrace those patterns in order to survive, function, whatever the reason is why those patterns are there. Now on to some community news. We are working on a series of brainwave entrainment meditations that will use the music that you can find in our Alpha Awakening course, which helps you understand what alpha is, it helps you understand how to access alpha, and then it gives you practical ways to actually implement it into your life. But each of the lessons in that course includes a brainwave entrainment track for you just to experiment with. And we've had a request to actually make fuller meditations with that brainwave entrainment music. So what we're going to do is take some of those tracks and make a full meditation. You can find out more about the course, of course, in the description, and stay tuned for the meditations. They are coming. They are a work in progress. We're also working on a Theta level course too. So that is coming up. It will be similar to the beta, but it's going to teach you how to access Theta, the differences between Theta and beta, how you can use Theta, and we'll get into that. So stay tuned for that. Our ongoing saga with YouTube just continues. You are seeing more ads on the videos. I know some people have expressed that they are upset about those. I am seeing your comments. I've created several pinned posts to address this. I have one solution, being that you can find almost all of the meditations on the channel on Insight Timer, which is a free app and is ad free. And if you cannot find a meditation, if you are being bombarded with ads, which hopefully that will change. There's some things changing at YouTube that are potentially affecting that as well. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with ads, but you can contact me if you need to, or even leave a comment if you need to. If there's a certain meditation you're looking for and you need to find an ad-free version, we'll figure out a solution for that. And stay tuned because I have another exciting update to share in a minute too here. We are continuing to build out our Rumble channel. And there is, I don't know, maybe 11 videos there right now. Go check them out. Some of them are a little bit different than what you find on YouTube. They are not all the same, so you'll find some different content there. If you have ideas for what types of content you would like to see on Rumble, please reach out and let me know or leave a comment. And all the platforms where you can find us are going to be in the description, of course, so find us there. And then in some exciting news, our Patreon, which we launched, I think 2 days ago now. There are 3 levels of membership and some have limited spots. So be sure to grab one if you are looking for a certain spot. So hop over to our Patreon. There'll be a link in the description as well for that. And if you are an email subscriber, stay tuned for an email with a special offer for you. So be looking for that. It's not in your email boxes yet. It will be in the next few days. If you're not following us on Instagram, take a look, follow us for one, and then take a look at the video that we posted about the CIA and Brainwave Entrainment. So I'm not going to go into all the details of that here. I think that video does a really good job explaining Robert Monroe's work with that. And, just remember that we should always have a discerning eye with everything, including all the lies that you've been sold up until now. But what I posted about the CIA and Brainwave Entrainment and Robert Monroe and his work is the exact reason that we use Brainwave Entrainment and in our work. And that really connects into the gateway experience and Robert Monroe and consciousness. So all the work that we're doing is connecting into accessing various levels of consciousness and getting control of your mind, and Brainwave Entrainment is a powerful way to help you do that. So we use the power of my voice to guide you, and then we use Brainwave Entrainment music to guide you even deeper. Anyways, so take a look at that. Again, you'll find links below to everything that I've mentioned. That's what's going on right now on the channel. Reach out if you have ideas for other things you'd like to see on the channel. Reach out with comments, feedback, whatever you have. And I think that's it for today.